Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 9th Chapter, Text 46. Yesterday I mentioned this is the last verse of this chapter. A very important chapter at that. Jad utaham tvaya prishto vairajad purushad idam yathasit upakkhyaste Prashnan Anyang Cha Kritsnashaha Jadutaham Taya Prishto Vairajat Purushadidam Jathashitta Dupakshaste Prashnanannānscha kritsnasaha Yadutaham tvaya prishto Vairajat purushadidam Jathashitta dupas upakhaste Jathasit Tad upakhaste Prashnanannānscha kritsnasaha Jadutaham taya prishto Vairajat purushadidam Jathasitta dupakhaste Prashnanannānscha kritsnasaha. Yat, what? Uta is however. Aham, I. Tvaya, by you. Prishtaha, I'm asked. Vairaja, from the universal form. Purusha, from the personality of Godhead. Idam, this world. Yatha, as it. Asit, was. Tat, that. Upakhaste, I shall explain. Prashnan, all the questions. Anyan, others. Cha, as well as. Kritsnasaha, in great detail. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O King, your questions as to how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. So all the questions of Parikshit Maharaj will be answered from these 4 verses by elaborating those 4 verses. Please repeat after me. O King, your questions as to how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As stated in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this great transcendental literature is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic knowledge, and therefore all questions that can be humanly possible regarding the universal affairs beginning from its creation are all answered in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The answers depend only on the qualification of the person who explains them. The 10 divisions of Srimad Bhagavatam, as explained by the great speaker Srila Sukadeva Goswami, are the limitation of all questions, and intelligent persons will derive all intellectual benefits from them by proper utilization. Thus end the Bhakti-Vedanta purports of the 2nd canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. So, it's a very wonderful verse and a brilliant purport by Srila Prabhupada, although very small, not a very elaborate purport, but this purport is so powerful, so potent. In this one purport, Prabhupada is actually explaining that Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of the entire Vedic scriptures, Vedic knowledge, is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic knowledge. Why do we need a tree? Why do we need a mango tree? Why do we need a mango tree? For mangoes. The purpose of the tree is the fruit. Similarly, if Bhagavatam is compared to a tree, Bhagavatam actually has been compared to a tree, a very special kind of tree. What kind of tree is that? Very good. Kalpa Vriksha. Kalpa Vriksha. Kalpa Vriksha means desire-fulfilling tree. If you go to a mango tree, you will get only mango. If your desire is to get jam fruit, you will get it from mango tree. But if there is a tree that you can go with any desire, and the tree will be able to supply that, or the tree will supply that. Is there any tree like that? Brajakishore? Is there some tree that fulfills all desires?
Yes.
Where is that tree? Okay, what's it called? Kalpataru. Kalpavriksha, Kalpataru, desire tree. Now, if there is a tree that fulfills all desires, can you imagine how wonderful would be the fruit of that tree? There is a tree that fulfills all your desires. Then how wonderful will be the fruit of that tree? And not only that fruit, the fruit will be wonderful, but it will be even more wonderful if the fruit is fully ripened. And then, if a fruit is picked by a parrot, what happens? Do you know this secret? Yeah. क्या होता है? टेस्ट, हाँ, बहुत टेस्टी बन जाता है और भी मीठा हो जाता है. तो Sukha, the word Sukha actually means also a parrot. Sukadeva Goswami. Now this fruit has been blended with the nectar from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. It has been pecked. It has been spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore it has been even more relishable. And that is Srimad Bhagavatam. The third verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that. Nigama kal, that's what actually that verse says, the third verse of the first chapter of the first canto. Nigam means the Vedas. Just Vedas have Agama and Nigama. Just Vedas have Shruti and Smriti. Shruti and Smriti. Agama and Nigama. So the Vedic knowledge is described as Nigama. And Nigama is has been compared to Kalpavriksha. Nigama Kalpatarur Golitam Phalam, the ripened fruit of that Kalpataru. Golita means ripened. Golitam Phalam. And Sukha Mukhad Amrita Drava Sanjutam. It has been Sanjutam. Sanjutam means mixed with, blended with. Sukha Mukhad Amrita. The nectar from the mouth of Srila Rupa Goswami. And who drinks this fruit? Pivata Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam. This Rasam Alayam, Rasam means juice. Rasam means juice. And now this fruit is the Alayam. Alayam means just like Himalayam. What is Himalayam? Alaya means reservoir, the source. So Rasamalayam, the reservoir of rasas. Pivata Bhagavatam, who drinks this Rasamalayam, this rasas from this the original nectar from this original source, Srimad Bhagavatam, Muhuraha Rasika. Rasika means those who understand or those who can relish the rasas. Rasika, devotees, those who relish the rasas. And how do they drink this? How often? Muhu. Muhu means constantly. So constantly they drink it. Nittang Bhagavata Sevaya. So Prabhupada is making a brief mention, reminding us of that fact. Bhagavatam is the desire tree, great transcendental literature, is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic knowledge, and therefore all questions that can be humanly possible regarding the universal affair, beginning from its creation, are all answered in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Chatushloki also, that has been pointed out. How? How it has been pointed out? Who remembers? Very good. Etavadeva jigyasam. All the questions is answered by these 4 verses, answered by Srimad Bhagavatam, answered by the presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam within Srimad Bhagavatam. Etavad eva jigyasam. Annaya Vatirekabhyam. directly or indirectly, at all time, at all place. Jat sat sarvatra sarvatra. The answers depend. Now, the point is properly, the answers depend only on the qualification of the person who explains them. Bhagavatam has the answers to all questions, but it will depend upon the expertise of the personality who is answering and his command over the subject of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Prabhupada used to challenge. If you have a question, I have an answer. And all those answers make such sense. It's completely clear and perfect answers. There's a book also, I generally recommend everybody to read that book. Perfect question, perfect answers. Read that book and you'll see how Bhagavatam actually, how this subject matter answers everything. If you know this topic, if you know Srimad Bhagavatam, you know everything. You will know everything. And then we can also consider two other books. One is the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam and the other is the expansion of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read those two books, you'll know everything. Those two books are, what is the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam? Summary of Srimad Bhagavatam is Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita. Everything, just in about 30 verses, 37, 38 verses, everything has been explained. People have so many doubts, so many confusions about the demigods and Krishna. And that has been so clearly explained in Brahma Samhita. In English, actually the problem is that in English, everything is lumped into the expression God. Everything is God. Therefore they think that Hinduism is a polytheistic religion. Hinduism believes in many gods and goddesses. Isn't that a misconception? But is Hinduism actually, does Hinduism believe in many gods and goddesses? Or does Hinduism believe in one God? What is your understanding? Yes. Now who are the other gods then? Very good. They're not gods, they're demigods. They're demigods or semi-gods. They are not gods. And if we go to Sanskrit, if we go to the word in Sanskrit, if we analyze it from the Sanskrit perspective, it becomes clear. There are two expressions, Devata and Bhagavan. In English, they don't have the brains to understand that in English language. So all are gods. So therefore Hinduism believes in many gods. They think that only Christianity and Islam are monotheistic religion. They believe in one God. But they don't realize that Hinduism is the real root of all religions. There's one God only. And that is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is the Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is the Parama Ishvara. Krishna is the Parameshwara, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he has different incarnations. Bhagavatam explains that Ete Changsha Kala Pungsha Krishnastu Bhagavan. Different incarnations have been described, and after that it has been pointed out all these incarnations are parts, and the parts of the parts are parts of the parts of the parts of Krishna. Amsa and Kala. But Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who are the Devatas? Devatas are different, responsible in charges of the affairs of the universe. The whole creation has been described. So in Brahma Samhita, if you go to Brahma Samhita, then we will see what is an universe. What is one universe? One universe is a bubble rising from the pore of Brahma's body. I'm sorry, Mahavishnu's body. Just one little bubble as he is breathing. So is there only one universe? No. There are unlimited universes. Even the universe, even the material nature is unlimited. Even the number of universes is unlimited. Like we can consider that the universes are rising from universes are manifesting from the body of Brahma, from every pores of Brahma as Brahma is breathing. As Mahavishnu is breathing. Now, is Mahavishnu's body limited? So Mahavishnu's body is unlimited. So the pores in Mahavishnu's body is limited? Is unlimited. So the number of universes is limited? No, it's also unlimited. So this is how inconceivable creation is. And each universe has one Brahma. Each universe has 14 planetary systems. 7 higher planetary systems, 7 lower planetary systems. So scientific understanding. They are not just speculating, they are not imagining. They are speaking the absolute truth, the knowledge that has come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And upon seeing those knowledge, they are actually imparting this knowledge. Like who knows better than the universe than Lord Brahma himself? And when Brahma is actually speaking, should we accept his authority? When Brahma is saying there are 14 planetary systems, should we speculate? No, there are 25 planetary systems. Should we speculate like that? A fool only will speculate. And that's what is happening. Bunch of fools with a little bit of a telescope, they're looking at the sky and they're coming up with all kinds of theories. And with time, those theories are being kicked away. Today, what is a theory accepted by all the scientific world? Day after tomorrow, that theory is kicked away. No, that's not right. Now we have come up with another theory, a better theory. And it's going on and on and on. So the reality is that these people are not very intelligent, nor these people are honest. That's the problem. They don't know, but they claim that they are knowing. If you don't know, and if you claim that you know, is it honest of you? Doesn't it sometimes happen? Like you ask the direction from somebody in a new place, and he tells you something which is not correct. In India, it's a very common thing. You ask him, where is Mahakaleshwar temple? And he points out to ISKCON temple. So is this honest? No. Lying is not honest. Lying is dishonest. If I don't know, let me admit I don't know. Let me learn. So that is the problem in today's world. This world is being dictated by a group of people who are going on in the name of, who are recognized as scientists and philosophers and wise people, but they do not know. But they're claiming that they know. And the result is chaos. So, but when you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, we get a perfect authoritative understanding. Brahma is speaking. Why should Brahma lie? And Brahma's perception is much clearer than our perception. And then eventually you get to know Brahma didn't actually get this knowledge just from his own intellectual and sensual faculties. Brahma didn't speak like this just by speculating on what he was seeing with his material perception. The knowledge that Brahma is giving, what he received by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he saw this reality face to face when his perception became spiritualized. So with this, that is the authority of Brahma. Brahma is not lying, nor does Brahma have any reason to lie. Rather, Brahma was sincerely considering, where am I? Who am I? And what am I supposed to do here? Only after he got the answer to these questions, then only Brahma started to impart the knowledge. And who did he impart the knowledge to? To his son. Which son? The dearmost son. So why should Brahma lie to him? Why should Brahma cheat on him? And then Narad, being fully concerned about the situation of Vasudev, imparted the knowledge unto him. And Vasudev, a genuine well-wisher, he was considering how to benefit the people of this age of Kali. How to benefit them. Because he could see the condition of the age of Kali long before the age even actually started. Today we can see how degraded the age of Kali is, whether we want to admit it or not. But Vasudev saw it long time ago, 5,000 years ago. Therefore he decided to give this knowledge. And in a way that people can accept it, people can understand it. But still he was discontent. He was not satisfied. He was not happy. That's why Narad came and told him that, look, this is where you are lacking. You have not glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead in an unalloyed way. You did not describe the unalloyed, uncontaminated, completely pure glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why you are not content. People must know Him as He is. And that's why, that's how Vasudev recognized the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. And at that ripened stage of his maturity, at that matured stage of his spiritual presentation, Vasudev, when he exhausted everything else had been done, only this much was left. He presented Srimad Bhagavatam. So Brahma Samhita is Brahma's presentation of the Absolute Truth. He is the essence of his understanding upon seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face in the spiritual sky. Brahma has given Brahma Samhita. So that is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you read Sri Brahma Samhita? Oh, so few. Okay. Many of you didn't read. Make it a point to read Brahma Samhita. When did I give a seminar on Brahma Samhita? How long back was that?
More than 2 years.
More than 2. Okay, maybe we should give another seminar. How many of you think that there is a need for a seminar on Brahma Samhita? Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'll give a seminar on Brahma Samhita. Should I do it next week?
Surely.
Next week? No, I'm here next week. You are leaving. And That's why I was thinking, maybe before I go, should I give the seminar in Brahma Samhita? When are you leaving?
I'm not sure. When we start? Can you start it today?
आप अगर आदेश करेंगे तो जरूर करेंगे. But in the evening we are doing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Or then let me come back. When I come back, for 3 days we can do Brahma Samhita. Right? And in the meantime, let's carry on with Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, from 13th I have a class. I have a meeting. GBC meeting is starting here on the 13th, so I'll be very busy with that. So maybe we can do it on 9th, 10th, 11th, or 10th, 11th and 12th. What will be better, President Saab? What is 9th, 10th and 11th?
9th Saturday.
Huh?
9th Saturday.
9th is Saturday. 9th, 10th, 11th. So ये 3 दिन करते हैं? Or should we do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be better.
They are coming back on 8th.
I'll try to. I'm actually flying from London on 6th, so I'll be here on 7th morning. Yeah, I can come back on the 8th morning, or 9th we can start. No, is it 8th? Yeah? You're saying 8th. 8th, 9th and 10th. Okay, so we will do Brahma Samhita again. I love to do Brahma Samhita. It's such a beautiful. I did Brahma Samhita in Durban. That was how many years ago? Must have been about 20 years back. Yeah. There also I did it for 4 days. Yeah. And there will be an exams after that. Alright? 3 days, and the 4th day there will be an examination. Okay. So Brahma Samhita is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you know Brahma Samhita, you understood Bhagavatam. Everything has been described there. Like in places like Ujjain we find there's such a big confusion about Lord Shiva and Gopal. Isn't it? Shiva and Krishna. मैं शिव भक्त हूँ, आप कृष्ण भक्त हैं. But who is Lord Shiva? Shiv ji Krishna से भी बड़े हैं. And Krishna Bhakta is saying, no, Krishna सबसे बड़े हैं. और कारण इसके कारण क्या हो रहा है? संघर्ष हो रहा है. बल्कि शिव जी कौन है? ब्रह्म संहिता में क्या वर्णन है उसका? ओके, राघव पंडित जी इज लुकिंग एट द ब्रह्म संहिता. वेरी गुड. ओके, हिंदी बता, अंग्रेजी में बता दो. ठीक है, हिंदी में ही बता दो.
माया के संग की गौण प्रक्रिया का वर्णन हो रहा है. भगवत प्रिया चिच्छिति रूपा रमा देवी समस्त जीवों की नीति रूपा है. कृष्ण का दिव्य अंश इस भौतिक जगत की सृष्टि करता है. सृष्टि के समय इस कृष्णांश से जो स्वांश ज्योति प्रकट होती है, वही भगवान शंभु रूप भगवत लिंग अर्थात प्रकटित चिन्ह विशेष है. वही सनातन ज्योति के धुंधले प्रकाश का आभास है. वह लिंग नीति के वशीभूत भौतिक जगत के उत्पादक का अंश है. नीति से जो प्रसवनी शक्ति उदित होती है, वही अपरा शक्ति योनि रूपी. अच्छा
ठीक है, ये तो माया है. बल्कि शिव जी के बारे में जो बताया फिर से बता दो.
कृष्ण का दिव्य अंश इस भौतिक जगत की सृष्टि करता है. सृष्टि के समय उस कृष्णांश से जो स्वांश ज्योति प्रकट होती है, वही भगवान शंभु भगवत लिंग अर्थात.
ओके, सब समझ गए? हाँ, कोई प्रश्न है? कृष्ण का जो शक्ति जगत का सृष्टि करता है, जो अंश जगत का सृष्टि करता है, कौन से अंश जगत का सृष्टि करता है? महाविष्णु। विष्णु रूप के द्वारा जगत का सृष्टि होता है। अच्छा, उनका जो ज्योति है, ज्योति का मतलब कौन सी ज्योति? ये विष्णु का ज्योति कौन सी ज्योति यहाँ जिसका वर्णन हुआ है? उन्होंने जब माया के प्रति दृष्टिपात करते हैं, वो दृष्टिपात है शंभु। अच्छा, आप विचार करो, माया के साथ शिव जी का संपर्क क्या है? महामाया के साथ शिव जी का संपर्क क्या है? हाँ, पति है, माया के पति है शिव जी। पार्वती, दुर्गा, काली सब शिव जी के पत्नी हैं। हाँ, तो शिव जी ऐसे विष्णु का अंश है, कृष्ण का अंश है, जो इस भौतिक जगत में सृष्टि कार्य में युक्त रहे हैं। सृष्टि कार्य में कैसे? क्योंकि उनकी दृष्टिपात के द्वारा सारे जीवात्माओं इस भौतिक जगत में आता है। अच्छा, अब देखिए, शिव जी पिता है, ये माया क्या है? माया माता है। तो शिव जी माया का पति है, तो शिव जी कौन हो रहा है? पिता हो रहा है। और पिता के रूप में पिता क्या करते हैं? पिता के माध्यम हम भौतिक जगत में आते हैं। तो ऐसे शिव जी के माध्यम हम इस भौतिक जगत में आए। इसलिए शिव जी का पूजा कैसे हो रहा है? लिंग रूप में शिव जी का पूजा हो रहा है। सो सब मिल रहा है ना, सिस्टमैटिक में मिल रहा है। तो अब क्या संघर्ष रहेगा शिव जी के साथ कृष्ण भक्तों का? नहीं। और एक श्लोक है बहुत सुंदर, जो ब्रह्म संहिता में ब्रह्मा जी का वर्णन है शिव जी के बारे में। क्षीरं यथा दधि विकार विशेष योगात् संजायते नहीं तत पृथक अस्ति हेतो या संभुतामपि तथा समुपैति कार्याद गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तमहं भजामि। क्षीरं यथा दधि विकार विशेष योगात्, just as milk becomes yogurt in contact with acid. पता है ना सबको दही कैसे बनता है? एसिड के कारण दूध दही हो जाता है। वैसे ही सिमिलरली क्षीरं यथा दधि विकार विशेष योगात् संजायते नहीं तत पृथक अस्ति हेतु, देयर इज नो डिफरेंस। मिल्क एंड योगर्ट, इज एनी डिफरेंट? मिल्क हैज बिकम योगर्ट, दही। सिमिलरली ja sambhutam api tatha samupayati karjat, in order to perform some specific activity, ja sambhutam, he became Sambhu, Lord Shiva. And what is that activity? The activity is to deal with the material nature. This Maya, material nature, is Krishna's external energy. Since it is Krishna's external energy, can Krishna deal with her directly? No. Then it will not be external, it will become internal, right? Therefore, to deal with this external energy, Krishna manifests himself as Lord Shiva. And who is Maya? Maya hi jasya jagadanda satani sute trigunna tad vishaya veda vitayamana sattavalambi parasatta vishuddha sattvam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. And another verse is there on Maya. What is that verse? Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti rekha Chayeva jasya bhuvanani vibharti durga Ichchanurupam api jasya chechishtate sa Govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Everything is explained. And we become, some people become very exalted, they become kings and they become very important personality. How does it happen? How does it happen? Now I'm forgetting the first line of that verse. 36th, 34th verse. देखो तो 34th verse क्या है? हाँ, पंथास्तु कोटि शतवत्सर संप्रदम्यो. No, that is the remoteness of it. अच्छा, 34 क्या है? पंथास्तु कोटि. 35. Ekopasau rachitum jagadanda koti shashi. Okay. No. Okay. Maybe then it will probably be 33. Advaitam. Actually, this is 36. Jad bhava bhavita dhiyo manuyas tathaiva samprapya rupa mahima sanajana bhusha suktoy jameva nigama prathitai stuvanti govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. इसका शब्दार्थ, इसका अनुवाद है, भाव भक्ति से भावित हृदय वाले मनुष्य अपने उपयुक्त रूप, महिमा, आसन, वाहन तथा आभूषणों को प्राप्त करके वेद कथित मंत्र सूक्त द्वारा जिनकी स्तुति करते हैं. अर्थात ये जो हमें जो कुछ मिल रहा है, अपना रूप, महिमा, आसन, आसन का मतलब पोजीशन, ये सब किसके कारण मिल रहा है? कोई एक अगर राजा बना है, किसके कारण राजा बना है? कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना है, किसके कारण बना है? कोई बड़े देश के प्रेसिडेंट बने हैं, किसके कारण बने हैं? कोई बड़े इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट बने, किसके कारण बने हैं? किसके लिए बन रहा है? ये मिल रहा है, ये सारे भगवान के कारण, भगवान की कृपा से ही मिल रहा है. तो इसलिए भगवान को ही स्तुति करना चाहिए. ये जब हमें प्राप्ति होता है तो ऐसा नहीं सोचना कि हमारा जिंदगी बन गया है, मैं अब प्रेसिडेंट हो गया है. और ऐसा नहीं सोचना. जो भी महिमा या पद या विभूति मिलता है, वैभव मिलता है, सब केवल भगवान की कृपा से ही मिल रहा है, ये समझ के हमको रहना होगा. क्लास में हिंदी में दे रहा था या It's good. I think my Hindi is improving. So the answer depends only on the qualification of the person who explains them. The more, the better we have the understanding, deeper is our realization, clearer will be our answers. And what is the bottom line actually? How does Bhagavatam is giving us all the clearer understanding? It is very simple actually. The first understanding is, as Krishna pointed out in Bhagavad Gita. What did Krishna point out to Arjuna at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita? When Krishna started to answer, or Krishna started to instruct Arjuna, what is the first subject, first topic that Krishna dealt with? Right. That Krishna pointed out, the verse that Krishna used was Natve Vaham Jatu Nasam Natvang Neme Janadeva. There was never a time when you, I and all these kings did not exist. And there will never be a time. And then Krishna went to explain the difference between the body and the soul. Now if we can understand this much, the difference between body and soul, then 50%, 60% or 70% problem is solved. That is the main problem. To recognize that this body is not everything, matter is not everything. The soul is the main criteria, main personality. I am, generally we think I am this body, isn't it? When you stand in front of the mirror, you think, oh, how handsome I am, how beautiful I am. But actually I am very beautiful, but I can't see that in the mirror. The soul is so beautiful. Soul is youthful, eternally youthful. Soul never gets old. It's the body that becomes old. The soul is always youthful. Therefore we see that the spiritual bodies do not become old. Did you ever see Krishna as an old man? No. Did anyone ever see Arjuna as an old man? No. They're all eternally youthful because they're in the spiritual identity. You also become situated in a spiritual identity, you'll become eternally youthful. You'll also become so beautiful. Our real beauty is there already in us. We don't have to become beautiful. We are beautiful. But we have to recognize that identity of ours. And then Krishna explains, what is the soul? What is the soul? He elaborately explained. The soul cannot be cut by any weapon. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayante apo, nayam shoshayati marutaha. Accheddvayam adajvayam aklidda shushya evacha. So it cannot be burnt by fire. It cannot be cut by any weapon. It cannot be moistened by any water. It cannot be dried by air. So this is the nature of the soul. So where did the soul come from? The soul came from the spiritual sky. So that is the nature of the soul. And so Krishna then explains what is the soul, what is the spiritual world, what is the material world. So everything has been explained. Now if you understand that, isn't everything understood? Isn't all the problems solved? So that is what? The 10 divisions of Srimad Bhagavatam, as explained by the great speaker Srila Sukadeva Goswami, are the limitation of all questions. That will be explained in the next chapter. The 10 Lakshanam, the 10 symptoms, the 10 characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana. So this is the Vidya Bhagavata Badhi. Our knowledge can go only up to Srimad Bhagavatam. There is nothing beyond that. So this has been explained by in Brahma Samhita, and it has been elaborated in, I mentioned about, one is Bhagavatam has been summarized, another is Bhagavatam is expanded. The expansion of Srimad Bhagavatam is Brihad Bhagavatam. So read that book also. Unfortunately, that book hasn't been translated into Hindi as yet, but it's available in English. That's one book that is brilliant. If you understand that book, you will see like everything is understood. Sitaram has studied that. That's why he's so wise. He quotes Brihad Bhagavatam written from time to time. And it's true, like everything will be understood if you read Srimad Brihad Bhagavatam. So, thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. So does anybody have any question?
It's the point made that the topic is elucidated or clarified by the expertise of the speaker. But now there are some restrictions about sitting on the seat of the ass. Certain qualities has to be imbibed by the speaker, which in ISKCON we see, due to the fact that we in the West, we are speaking many times. Simply, you go to some temples, a lower level devotee is giving Bhagavatam class because of being in the parampara. When we consider time, place, and circumstance in terms of preaching, to what extent do we adjust? Because frankly, many of the lectures I've heard in K-Person are so extremely boring that, in order to create a captive audience, to what extent do we have to go to ensure that, particularly in today's environment, that our audience are captivated by the subject matter?
You see, a devotee is like a swan. He simply extracts the milk out of water. And a devotee or an intelligent person learns from every situation. So when you listen to a boarding class, at least you learn one thing, how not to give a boarding class. So that's one thing. And the qualification, actually, why did Prabhupada encouraged even the neophyte devotees give classes? Because Prabhupada was pushing them to learn how to speak. Because if you don't practice, you don't really become perfect. But at the same time, Prabhupada made one thing very clear. What is the criteria? What is the qualification for giving a class? That we simply have to repeat what we heard from our authority. That is the qualification. Sometimes maybe at the beginning we will repeat like a parrot. But then, as we advance, our repetitions will be substantiated with realization. And the more realized one is, the more profound will be his class. And at the same time, we also have to consider there are some individuals who give very exciting classes. Like if you ask a movie star to give a Bhagavatam class, you will see the whole city will just come to listen to him. He will make all kinds of tamashas and things, to make it exciting. So there are many actors, who give classes, who speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. But they are not repeating. If they are repeating, they are simply imitating some movie star. If they watch, a movie star speaks like this, and his movements, his gestures, and they imitate that and make their classes very exciting, but there is no benefit. Whereas if a person just repeats, like for example, yesterday I was asking Gaurangi whether she would give the class. And yes, she is also able to give class. Like I'll give you an example, like once Prabhupada, at that time Shamsundar Prabhu and Malati were Prabhupada's secretary. Shamsundar was Prabhupada's secretary, and he was traveling with his wife Malati and his daughter Saraswati. And one very important person came to meet Srila Prabhupada, and he was waiting to see Srila Prabhupada, and Malati in the meantime, Saraswati was only about 4 or 5 years old at that time, was talking to that man. And so in course he asked, "Do you know Krishna?" And the man jokingly replied, "No, I don't know Krishna." She said, "Oh, you don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And when Prabhupada heard, Prabhupada said, that is preaching. That is Krishna consciousness. Even a little child can preach to a minister. Do you know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you can just convey this much, that's good enough. So preaching, we have to, or deliverance of the classes and things. Whatever we know, whatever we learned, we can just repeat that. We can just speak that. Whatever we have accepted, we can speak that. And that is the qualification. We simply have to repeat. We don't have to concoct anything else. Just repeat what our previous acharyas have spoken, what Srila Prabhupada has given. That's the qualification. Yes, Arti?
I suppose it's also important that the speaker be properly situated by following the regulative principles. And I think a Sitarang will attest.
Not only a speaker, even a new bhakta have to. That is a must in ISKCON. That's a must.
No,
that is.
Sitarang can attest. I'm sure that he's always been a powerful speaker, but now that he's properly situated and following properly, the message will be accepted more because of that.
Now we'll see his power when he goes to South Africa. I'm a little worried actually. If it's a machine gun preaching, maybe it's all right. But if it becomes ballistic missile preaching, then I think there'll be cause of concern. Anyway, I'm sure he will be. I was actually speaking to Sahadev yesterday, and I was telling him that how much I am waiting for you to go back and start preaching there.
I'm very balanced, Maharaj, I can say.
Oh.
I'm very balanced.
We will see. Yes.
The ballistic missiles are reserved for the demons, the hardcore.
And the thing is, in today's world there are so many demons. That's why Mahaprabhu said not to use even machine guns. No weapon. The weapon is love. With our love we have to conquer everybody. But that doesn't mean that we should be naive. We should, we know, but at the same time we have to be strict. Like a doctor. Doctor knows how to treat the patient, but sometimes the doctor has to give injection. Sometimes doctor even have to cut. Right. So yes, in order to benefit, but there's you see that the scalpel in the hand of a doctor is not a weapon. Right. So we may use apparently what appears to be like weapons, but they will be to cure them, to rectify them, to benefit them. Any other question?
When Brahma appeared in the lotus, and he asked himself, who am I? He was speaking like, sometimes he forget who am I. That time we bewildered by Maya. So how do we remember this?
Yeah, when Brahma apparently gets bewildered, that is Yogamaya, that's not Mahamaya. That is to enhance Krishna's pastimes. That is Yogamaya. Otherwise, Brahma will not get bewildered. Brahma is an associate of the Lord. So, he is our Adi Guru, Sampradaya Acharya. So we should never think that Brahma was bewildered. That is just Yogamaya.
As you told, the first understanding is Nadeva Amjatanasam, then difference between body and soul, then the nature of soul, then the difference between spiritual and material. What is the bottom line?
In Bhagavad Gita, bottom line is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Now that you understood the difference between matter and spirit, and that you understood that I am the source of everything, surrender unto me. Right? That's the bottom line, according to Bhagavad Gita. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, just surrender is not enough. You love me. Love is what is guided in Bhagavatam. Yes, Sony?
No, I am a part and parcel of Krishna. Is a good option, or I am a soul is a good option?
Both are the same. As a soul, what are you?
No, it's the way, but depend upon the person to person. To my
Okay,
soul
fine.
is the
Soul, I am the soul is better than I am the body. Right? Relatively better. But as a soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna.
So
That
this,
is I am.
This concept is
More advanced. I am the part and parcel of Krishna is more advanced. And I am part and parcel of Krishna in which way? As a spiritual being. Right?
soul concept is sometimes relative, but part and parcel of Krishna.
Yes, good, very good. But as a part and parcel, what do? Do you become Krishna? Okay, that's good. But if one thinks that as part and parcel, he is Krishna, he is God, then that's not correct.
Another thing about the preaching, I think the preaching also have inner and outer suggestions. While preaching and person advance.
When you are preaching, you are teaching yourself also. You are speaking, you are preaching to yourself also.
And while preaching, one consider that better I admit all that and then further.
That is up to you.
So he starts accepting all the things first himself and then.
Yeah, very good. Good. Thank you. Shamangi, you came back. I thought you were coming back day after tomorrow. Actually, Shamangi went to Surat, her own place. She was staying in her old house and she didn't want to stay there. She came back. I'm very happy that you're missing Ujjain like this. So, that's what we want actually. This place will become so attractive that people will leave their home and come here to stay. Very good. Thank you. And welcome back to Ujjain.
Three books, Bhagavatam,
Brihad Bhagavatam. Brihad Bhagavatam.
But Brahma Samhita, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati part is too difficult to understand.
So anyway, that's why you're giving seminars.
Maharaj, what about the controversy that it's not actually Govin's Bhakti Siddhanta who wrote Brahma Samhita?
The English translation.
English translation.
Was not by him. It was by one of his disciples called Professor Sanyal. But in ISKCON, the English one that we printed, we actually presented as this translation by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. The Bengali one is by him.
Very simple in the English translation? In its explanations for...
You know, simple and difficult is a consideration of your understanding. If you understood, it's simple. And Bhakti Siddhanta, actually it's simple. I think it's easy. Well, I don't know why a Pandit like Ganga Narayan is finding it.
Convoluted, the level of the English in the English translation.
No, yeah.
It's very convoluted. And it's not
that is actually, if you read Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's English, you have to sit there with a dictionary and every 1 minute you have to look at it. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's English writing is really difficult. Even for an Englishman it was difficult. You know, like it has been mentioned why he wrote like that. Because those days India was under the British domination. And in order to prove to the British that how Indian culture and Indians are better than them. He wrote in a language that was even difficult for them to understand. That shows his expertise and command over the language. He wrote in, actually the real good style, what is the good style of writing? One thing, of course, as I told you the other day, short and crisp, but clear. The thing is that use as few words as possible. As few words as possible to express your ideas. That's one thing. Another thing is, this of course I added, but the main point is that it should be simple. The meaning should come out very clearly. It should be powerful. The word selection should be there to use the powerful words, powerful expressions. But when one reads it, he should get a clear understanding of the topic. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's writing was not in conformity with that understanding. It was really high flown. And he deliberately did that to show the British. Actually, because they were ruling over India, they had that complex. They used to think all the Indians are useless. But he pointed out that today with your physical power you may be dominating, but spiritually we are far advanced than you are. And by Prabhupada's mercy they are realizing that today. The world has progressed, world is progressing rapidly. And when it comes to English language, you have lived in England also. You have seen, Englishmen don't even know English, right? Bernard Shaw actually mentioned, why can't the English learn how to speak? The Frenchmen have their language, so do the Italians and Greeks, but an Englishman doesn't know how to speak. Why can't the English learn how to speak? She should be taken out and hung for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue. Okay, thank you very much. All glories to God.